Hey guys, if I were struggling to build muscle right now and I wanted to build more, then these are the first four things that I would look at to make sure that I was doing everything correctly to build muscle. That first thing is going to be a calorie surplus, making sure that I have enough energy. That's all calories are. It's just a way that we measure energy. Making sure that I have enough energy so that I can go through the processes that are building muscle, right? It takes energy to build muscle. It's an extra process that our body's not mainly focusing on. So we need extra energy to go through that. So that extra energy, that's coming from carbohydrates and fats mostly, okay? So making sure that I'm getting enough of those. Too often I see a lot of people restricting their carbohydrates and just eating a ton of protein in order to do that, but they're not getting enough energy to actually go through those processes in the first place. So all that protein is going and being used for energy rather than what you want it to be used for, which is building the actual muscle tissue. The second thing that I would look at is kind of what I just talked about with protein, is making sure I'm not getting too much or too little protein, right? It's important to get enough protein so that your body has the building blocks it needs in order to build more muscle. But that's not usually the problem I see with people who are really struggling to put on more muscle. The issue I typically see is eating way too much protein. And although if you just eat too much protein, the rest will go to energy, which you would think, hey, that's great. The problem is that protein is really, really filling. So if we're over consuming protein all the time, it's actually gonna make it really hard to do that first thing that I said, which is eating enough calories every single day. So the calorie part is more important, okay? Unless you're getting too little protein, then I would say they're probably about the same importance, but we wanna make sure we're getting enough energy and we wanna make sure we're getting the right amount of protein. If you're wondering what that is, it's about 1.2 to 1.8 grams per kilogram. You don't need 1 gram per pound. You don't need it. It's overkill. It's too much. Unless you are taking steroids, but I'm not endorsing that. Okay, so 1.2 to 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight should be plenty of protein. Fill the rest of your calories with carbohydrates, ideally high quality, ideally with a lot of fiber, ideally with a lot of vitamins and minerals, whole grains, potatoes, beans, things like that will really, really help you. And then the rest with healthy fats, okay? Not just any fats, not super fatty meats, okay? Not high fat dairy. We wanna kind of limit those. We want our proteins to be lean, and we wanna get our fats from really high quality sources: avocados, nuts, seeds, healthy oils. That's where we want to fill up our calories of the day. Don't forget your fruits and vegetables, people. Don't forget them, okay? And that brings me to my third point, which is making sure you're getting enough fiber, okay? Fiber, why are we talking about digestion? I'm trying to build muscle. Your digestion is extremely important when you're trying to build muscle. Like I just said about protein is really filling. If you're eating a ton of protein all the time, you're getting really, really filled up, but you got nothing to move it through, brother, you are gonna be stuffed up like a teddy bear. All right, so make sure that you are eating enough fiber to help things move through, okay? Fiber comes in two forms: soluble and insoluble. We wanna make sure we're getting both. Insoluble comes from non-starchy vegetables, right? So think about like lettuce, how it's stringy, or celery, how it's stringy. Those kinds of things have insoluble fiber, or the skin of certain fruits like an apple, or a vegetable like a potato, right? Whereas the inside of an apple or the inside of a potato or an orange, right? These have a lot more soluble fiber that kind of helps pull things through. So we want both. We want to get a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. And you're like, how is that going to help me build muscle? Like I said, it's gonna move it through, then you're gonna be hungry again, okay? Fiber in the moment when you're eating it is really filling, but as it starts to pull things through and, you excrete it, then you're gonna be hungry again, right? If it's all stopped up in there, you're gonna eat for a couple days, you're gonna eat enough, and then you're gonna start to feel really, really full even earlier. You're never really gonna start to feel hungry, honestly. So start eating enough fibers to start pushing that through, so that way you can consistently get enough calories, like I said before, right? You can consistently get the right amount of protein, right? And then if we're eating those fruits and vegetables with a lot of fiber, we're pushing it through so that we can actually get things out and we can get new things, new energy, new proteins into our body, okay? The fourth thing, I can't neglect the fourth thing. It's not nutrition, but it is training. Making sure your training incorporates an element of what we call progressive overload. Say it with me, progressive overload. What that means is that over time, we are continuously loading our body more, or increasing, not necessarily the weight, it can be, that's usually what we are talking about, is increasing the weight over time, but it could be more volume, right? Volume is reps, the amount of repetitions you're doing multiplied by the amount of sets you're doing, okay? So if we're doing more reps or we're doing more sets, that could also be a form of progressive overload. You got to be careful though, because if you go too hard too fast, what is going to happen? You're probably going to get injured, okay? So we want to do it methodically. We want to over time slowly increase the weight. This could be about 5 to 10% of whatever weight you're lifting as you go. So typically upper body is going to be more like 5%, and lower body is going to be more like 10%. If you're doing some kind of cardio, you can use this principle too, about 5 to 10% increases every week, time over time. And then take deload or rest weeks when you need to, when your body feels really worn down. But if we're not giving our body a constant stimulus, right, a stimulus to grow, then our body has no reason to put on muscle. So we need to tell it, hey, I need to put on more muscle because this weight that I'm lifting is heavier. It's getting heavier, it's getting heavier, and I need to be able to withstand that demand so that I can put on more muscle and I can survive, right? Essentially, you are tricking your body into wanting to survive. It thinks that you're fighting an elephant or something, but because the elephant's getting bigger, it's growing, and you keep having to fight it. It's super weird, but that's what your body thinks. It seems silly. It wants you to be strong enough so you can deal with the demands, with the stresses that are being placed upon your body. So continuously adding weight over time. Again, be careful with it, right? Don't go too crazy too fast. Don't lift with your ego, but start to lift heavier and heavier. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to grow, to get better in the places and in the muscle groups that you really want to, right? And be well-rounded about it. And also be good to your tendons and ligaments, right? Your tendons and ligaments can't adapt as fast as your actual muscles can. So you need to give them time, okay? That's why you really put yourself at risk, is because those tendons and ligaments can't catch up as fast. So if you are interested in more things and to improve your performance and build muscle, then check out the other videos following this, and I'll see you there.